kind of maybe a little bit of cross between original oratory and informative speaking. It's where a student can deliver a speech to an audience that they as a student could actually be addressing. And the speech is supposed to have some humor in it. It's also an 8-minute maximum speech, and our speaker is a sophomore, Kate Emmel.
We've all seen this scenario before. A little boy or girl with school-related anxiety levels through the roof because of overbearing parents. The parents expect nothing less than straight A's, and the little girl is already worried about getting into Purdue, her college of choice. That same little girl is being dragged to soccer matches that she doesn't even want to play in the first place by parents that will only take her to get a chocolate shake from Dairy Queen if she scores that tie-breaking goal against Leslie Tesla. Well, she didn't score that goal, so she didn't get her chocolate shake, and she cried into the pillow for the rest of her night and shouted, "You ruined me, Mom and Dad!" Many parents nowadays are putting far too much pressure on our youth to excel and win. That is why I, Kate Emmel, soccer player and speechy, am here to talk to all you proud soccer moms out there who are getting ready to sign your kid up for kitty kickers. Now I know what you're thinking. Why should I, a parent, be taking parenting advice from this kid? Well, as previously stated, I've experienced this firsthand. So today I'm going to force you into the problem, ignore your crying through the cause, and drag you kicking and screaming through the solution. But there will be ice cream at the end. Now put on your shin guards so we can confront the problem. It's simple. We are taught from childhood that life is one long contest, and if we aren't first in our class or best at our sport, we won't win at the game of life. Competition characterizes everything we do, from business, technology, sports, medicine, entertainment. Dr. Jordan Metzl stated that kids' sports have become far too competitive, and in general, high levels of competition aren't a great thing for young children. You see, kids are being signed up when they are 5 or 6 years old, and over the next couple of years, the training intensifies, making practice essentially year-round. Pretty soon, the parents and coaches play to win. It's not about the love of the sport or what you do, it's simply just about winning. We get it, Mrs. Gilman. Winning isn't everything, it's the only thing. If only someone would have told you that in high school. Metzl and other experts in youth athletics say they are increasingly concerned about the pressures put on our youth to excel. Not only are they at risk for emotional burnout, but some will then turn to steroids or other performance-enhancing substances to try to gain an edge. And they may give up on their sport altogether because it's just not fun anymore. Any sport can become boring or tedious. Football can turn into golf, golf can turn into croquet, and croquet can turn into the 7th layer of hell. Avery Fahijibam, an associate professor of exercise science at the University of Massachusetts in Boston, asked children why they are no longer interested in their sports. And the typical response was, "It's not fun anymore." They signed up because they wanted to make new friends and try something new, but if it's all about the final score, many kids will sideline themselves. Too much competition is also a problem in academics too. Now, I've been told from a young age that if I don't get straight A's, I'm not going to get into a good college. Or if I accidentally failed a test, that it was the end of the world, but let me tell you, it's not the end of the world, and those B's and C's won't kill you. You see, my older cousin works at Kumon. She decided she wanted to work there so that she could help young kids who were struggling with school get better grades and understand what was going on. Instead, she ended up tutoring kids with straight A's who didn't need the help, but were only there because their parents were afraid that if they didn't do that, they wouldn't get into a good college. She was able to tell the amount of stress and frustration it was causing them. Pushing our youth too hard can cause stress, emotional burnout, and eventually alter your relationship with your child. We shouldn't let this happen. Now quit your crying and buckle your seatbelt. The number one cause for how competitive everything has gotten is the parents' overbearing desire for success. And we all know what happens when parental expectations for success are too high. We've all seen the music video to Wrecking Ball. Of course, many parents are a positive force, supporting their children and making sports participation possible by driving them to and from practice and being at every game. You'll show up in your minivans, wrapped in your Snuggies, and ready to go. But it's the parents that live their childhood dream of being the sports star or best in their class through their child that's the problem. Mrs. Gilman. It's one thing for a child to dream of Olympic gold medals or playing in the NFL, but it's another matter if parents are pressuring them to do so in a way that is hurtful. And I'm sure we've all heard our share of stories about crazy parents at their kids' games and then the insane things they've done to put them ahead. In an incident from May of 2015, a soccer coach threatened a parent with a baseball bat who was getting in his face about his 6-year-old child for not getting enough playing time. Sounds like my dad. When I was little and he came to my soccer games, he all of a sudden became the coach on the sidelines. He would always yell at me to run and mark him on that girl and go after the ball. And they'd be like, Emma, what are you doing? Why are you standing there? And I was like, I don't know, Dad, the ball's on the side of the field. That's not my position. That's not my job. And my mom would always yell at me, and it really, really stressed me out. Like, Mom, please keep your damn pre-cut orange slices and hand warmers to yourself. Of course, many parents have good intentions. They want their child to grow up with happy memories and have something to look back on, but they shouldn't overdo it. An article from the New York Times written on July 27, 2015, stated that parents feel it is entirely up to them if their child fails or succeeds. Yes, it is up to them to put them on the path to success, but again, they shouldn't overdo it. The second cause of this is our schools. Schools today revolve around extracurricular activities such as sports. Sports are everything. More and more schools are pushing students to join 2 or 3 extracurriculars, and on top of that, pushing them to take more and more challenging courses. In a recent poll taken from the Harvard School of Public Health showed that most of the stress that teens experience is from school and homework. Today, homework is the leading cause of stress among teens. Mrs. Gilman, you've been demoted. Now get out to the field and let's find some solutions. First, parents need to relax and slow down. Seriously, Mrs. Gilman, you're starting to freak us all out. Let your kid be a kid. They don't need to be doing activity after activity. Instead of teaching them that's all about the winning, teach them about good sportsmanship. In an article written by Kate Cronin, professor of pediatrics at Jefferson Medical College, stated that kids learn the basics of sportsmanship from their parents and coaches in their lives. If they see their parents and coaches behaving in a sportsmanlike manner, they're more likely to do so themselves. Happiness and security, not exam grades, should be the real measures of parental success. Second, students need to set boundaries for themselves. To avoid stress and emotional burnout, they need to set realistic goals. Being unrealistic about their goals and their ability to achieve them, such as piling on class after class and joining 2 or 3 extracurriculars, is a recipe for disaster. Finally, schools need to lighten the workload on students. If a student is taking multiple challenging courses, don't pressure them into joining 2 or 3 extracurriculars on top of that. Today we have seen that pushing our youth too hard can have detrimental effects on their emotional well-being. Luckily, there are many solutions to what the parents, students, and schools can do to fix this. I know I promised ice cream at the end, but here's something even sweeter. A room full of laid-back parents and stress-free children. So let's all hop in our minivans and go to Dairy Queen.